I think faith is a great strength for somebody, a great tool for somebody to use, especially in hard times. And we come at it at a place of really being culturally competent. So we have people from all different walks of life, all different faith backgrounds, and we encourage them to explore that, in a healthy, meaningful way. And we definitely we try to work within what the client's belief system is, especially if that's a source of strength for them.
Welcome to L.E.A.P podcast, where we link, empower, access, and provide community resources and information. My name is Tasha Washington, Community Outreach Coordinator for the L.E.A.P program. Today's special guest is none other than Matt Scheuer, co-founder and Director of Operations of Mobile Counseling of New York. He is also a therapist within the organization. Matt Scheuer, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing, Tasha?
Good.
Thanks for having
So
me.
tell us about yourself and how you actually got into this profession and how you came to co-found Mobile Counseling.
Okay, so yeah, I started off, I got my bachelor's in psychology from Niagara University back in 2007. I joined the Army at the same time, and I did 2 deployments in Afghanistan with the medical unit. I came back after my second deployment and decided to go into social work. I got my master's in social work from Rutgers University in New Jersey in 2016, and then moved back up here in 2017. And I started working for the Veterans Crisis Line at the time. That I worked there for a few years, and then I got into about 2017, 2018, I got into doing private practice in a group practice setting, therapy, going to the same kind of model, going into people's homes, working with people individually, and really loved what I do. So I made the shift, and in about 2019, we myself and a few other mental health professionals, we co-founded Mobile Counseling New York.
Wow. First of all, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And second, what exactly is mental health for those who may not understand?
So mental health, I think you can really frame it in the sense of, someone's physical health, you have somebody's spiritual health, and mental health as well. It's their emotional and lack of a better term, mental well-being. You can be healthy physically, unhealthy physically, and I think that same goes true with mental health.
Okay, so who can be affected by mental health?
Oh, really anybody. You have people in everyday life. You have professionals. You have really anybody can be affected by everyday stress and mental health issues.
Okay, so anybody dealing with mental health, what are some examples of different diagnoses that that people may come across that have different stereotypes that come with them?
A lot of anxiety, depression. We find in our practice a lot of people that haven't tried therapy are doing it for the first time. There's a lot of family history of just avoiding getting help, and there's a big stigma with that in society. So the great thing about what we do is we kind of do it in a non-traditional way, so it's easier for them to access it. It's a little less intrusive. So I think we got all walks of life, people that come and try to seek out services and get better.
Okay, so you say therapy and you do it in a different kind of way. What does Mobile Counseling of New York, how does it differ from other therapy locations?
So we have a wing that we go to the person. So some of our therapists will go to a person's house, work with them in the community, eliminating some of those barriers of having to go into an office, technological barriers. A lot with COVID now, we do a lot of telehealth, but sometimes people can't really relate with that. So having kind of like a hybrid model where we can do telehealth, but then also that in person, in their own home, and what they feel comfortable with. It's a lot easier to access and a lot easier to really seek out help.
Okay, now what are some signs that people can look out for within themselves that would say, okay, I might need to seek out therapy?
I would say if you find that that things are getting a little overwhelming, if maybe you're not sleeping well, just if you feel like things are off from what you're normally used to, if you have friends and family that maybe have observed things, people that you trust, that said, hey, I really think something's going on. If you had a major life change with COVID, I think everyone's been put through a major life change, and the fact that if you're having a hard time adjusting with that, or big move, or just married, or let's say you had you're having relationship issues, the whole host of things.
Okay, and what are some misconceptions that people might have when it comes to therapy?
I think that a lot of things people feel when they come into therapy is that there's something wrong with them, that they think that there's that they're sick, or there's an illness, but really just people trying to figure things out. So we try to really dispel some of that. That's not a weakness in anyone. It's actually a form of strength that you're seeking to improve yourself, and you're seeking to get better.
And if somebody has an immediate need related to their mental health, what are some things they can do immediately?
So there's a lot of good resources in the community. I would say, first and foremost, make sure you call 911 if there's a life-threatening emergency or something you need to be seen for immediately. There are other crisis organizations out there. We have a way you can request an appointment or call us. We have Mobile County of New York has a 24-hour manned line, so you can access somebody, and we can get you scheduled immediately. But we would direct you, if it's an emergency, to go to your nearest emergency room.
For someone wanting to get connected with Mobile County of New York, what kind of insurance, how would they go about paying for the service?
Okay, great. Yeah, we do take numerous forms of insurance, Fidelis, MVP, Beacon Health Options are just some to name a few, and we're always growing our insurance capabilities. We never want to turn anybody away. But we do have sliding scales. We do have some pro bono services we can provide in the community as well for those that might not be able to afford therapy. We also do try to link people up. If we are not a good fit, we always refer out to the community as well, and we have some community partners that we work with just to make sure we're all we're all making sure everybody's safe.
Awesome. Now, in the Black community, I'm sure you've run into the fact that there's such a stigma against mental health. What would you say to someone who is fearful or has some serious concerns, more than likely due to the stigmas from their community?
I would say it all starts with a conversation. And that's where I know my personal approach is. I just want to get to know you and want to know what you've been struggling with and dealing with, and help you work through it. But it really just starts with a conversation. And I think we start from that mindset, and also we listen to each other. I think people aren't listened to nowadays. So if we can sit here, listen, mutual respect, I think that goes a long way in terms of breaking down the stigma of mental health, and also in the Black community that challenge as well.
Absolutely. I can say from experience, I've had clients that have worked with you. You all go above and beyond for your clients, making sure that they're safe. So I truly appreciate that, even from a fellow social worker's perspective. And so if someone is ready to start therapy, how would they go about getting connected to you?
Okay, great. That's a really great question. We have a few different ways you can access our services. We have a phone number that you can call. It's 716-302-4545. You can go to our website, which is www.mcnys.com. And on there, we have our number. You can also call, and you can text us as well, and email us. And also we have a session request form through our website that you can access that will get you linked up directly to a therapist.
Okay, now with the direct access, is that something where people can go in and set an appointment right away and speak with someone? How does that work?
So what it does is, if you go on our website, it'll ask you some questions. Within those questions, it'll ask your preferences, whether you want a male or female therapist, whether what insurance you have. That helps us to gauge, who we can match you up with, your preference for in-person versus telehealth, where you're located. So there's we have a few different options that'll match you with the right therapist. And then what that'll do is it'll go directly to the therapist and they'll reach out to schedule.
Okay. Now, another topic when it comes to mental health is medication. What are your thoughts about medication? What are some misconceptions about it, or some ways that you can alleviate concern? And do you guys offer that service?
Okay, great. Yeah, so I think medication is a great tool when used appropriately. I think that we like to we really connect with the people that are prescribing, whether it be a person's primary care doctor, psychiatrist, nurse practitioner, whoever is in that role, and we can really be a great partner in terms of augmenting what they're doing and also giving some good feedback. So we really like when we can connect with those people that are prescribing the medications to kind of make sure they and we can get a whole picture of the client. In terms of what we offer, we don't offer anyone in-house that does medication management, but we're more than happy to connect people with different people in the community that would be willing to prescribe and then communicate with us.
As a fellow social worker, we often use the term person-centered. Now, what is that? Do you all recognize that term, and how can that be something that encourages people to begin therapy?
So we always start from where the person's at, whether it be, they're struggling, whether they're having a great day. We always start where the person is, because that's really, it's about them, it's about their goals and helping them achieve them. So we're definitely, all of our therapists are person-centered approached. That's where we come from. And then from there, where's the client motivated? Like, where are they looking at making that change? Maybe they're not ready to make a change right now. Maybe they just need to get something off their chest. And we're there for that. Maybe they're ready to start making effective change in their life. So again, we're there for them, whatever stage of that change continuum that they're at.
Okay, so and alongside of that, a lot of times people think when they go to therapy, they're going to have to start with, oh, I was born such and such, and I went through this trauma. And how would you explain to someone when they come in their freedom to discuss what it is that they want to discuss?
So it can be very jarring to have to go through an intake, especially with a new person, to open up yourself completely. And myself and a lot of the therapists we work with don't see the intake as being one moment. So we're not trying to get all of your information in one session. We try to get as much as we can, but know that these things are pretty traumatic to talk about, some of these really tough topics. And we really, like kind of said earlier, we go where the person's at. We really try to meet them where they're at and what they feel comfortable with. When they open that door, we're there with them, but we're not gonna force the door open. They got to be ready to talk about it. But we'll try to get as much information as possible just to have an informed idea of what they're struggling with, so we can make good recommendations and good advice.
Now, when we connected almost 2 years ago, I believe, I learned that we share the same faith. Now, again, when it comes to the faith community even and therapy, how can that combine to work together?
I think faith is a great strength for somebody, a great tool for somebody to use, especially in hard times. And we come at it a place of really being culturally competent. So we have people from all different walks of life, all different faith backgrounds, and we encourage them to explore that, in a healthy, meaningful way. And we definitely try to work within what the client's belief system is, especially if that's a source of strength for them. So if their prayer life, God, whatever way they define that as, if that's something that's going to help them through with treatment, we're all for that. We definitely encourage that.
What age ranges do you all work with, and how young is too young to start therapy?
So there really is no lowest age range that we work with. We do work, I would say probably 2 or 3 would be where we would want to make sure that we're able to provide clinically appropriate services, just because of we want to make sure we can talk with them, that they're engaging, but we can do play therapy with children as well. So there really isn't too low of an age range, but we work from probably 2 to 3 up all the way up to like 99, 100. There's really no upper age limit as well.
So individual couple, family therapy? What are some of the benefits of each of those categories?
So they all have their place. So when we work with a couple, we work with the couple as the person, as the individual. So we work, working with couples and groups, it's a different dynamic than working individually. And we try to make sure that people are supported in any method that they would need. So if a couple's having issues, we'll provide couples therapy, but then also help them with individual therapy as well, making sure that all their needs are being met. Same thing with groups, family groups, groups of different, specialty groups, so like addiction groups, things like that. We try to make sure that we're providing techniques and strategies that are going to be effective for the group, and then also making sure their individual needs are being met.
Awesome. Now, telehealth, in person, you guys offer both, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so what telehealth? Explain a little bit about telehealth for those who may not understand what that means.
So telehealth is a audiovisual way of connecting with your therapist instead of being in person, sitting behind a desk. Especially with COVID, that has changed. That is definitely, we've gone more into that realm of providing that kind of service. So we have different ways we can provide telehealth. The straightforward way would be over the phone. Audiovisual, we have a couple different HIPAA compliant platforms that we can use to make sure everyone's privacy is being protected. Then also, if there's any other barriers, we have other methods that we can use to connect with clients. But whatever method we choose, we try to pick a method that's going to be the best for the client and help them connect in the most meaningful way.
Awesome. You mentioned HIPAA. I want to quickly ask you to explain what that is for those who may not understand and what the benefit of it is for them.
So HIPAA, it's a set of federal guidelines that protect somebody's privacy. So it makes sure that me as a therapist, I'm not going to disclose anything to a third party or somebody outside of our practice without having a consent in place. The consent of the client in place to make sure that that's permissible. There's some situations where that doesn't apply, but by and large, we always want to make sure we provide an informed consent to the client to make sure that they're consenting to everything that we're releasing.
Awesome. So we're nearing to the end. What are some final words that you have, again, for anybody watching, anybody considering therapy? What are some final words that you have for them?
I'd say definitely try it out, give it a shot. Again, we're more than happy to talk to anybody. If give us a call. It starts with a conversation. So if you've been really waiting or putting it off or just not sure if it's right for you, it doesn't hurt to give it a shot. So if you can do that, go from there, see if it's right for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Matt, for joining us today. For those of you who are watching, again, mental health is not something to be afraid of. You can try it out. If it doesn't work for you, you can move on. But we encourage each and every one of you to seek help if you need it. And even if you don't think you need it, you can have it in place. So when times arise, when you do run into issues, you already have someone established in place to assist you when those times come. We thank you again for joining us. The information is on the screen for you to connect with them. And you can also reach out to us at the People's Community Development Corporation if you need assistance connecting to a therapist. Thank you so much and have a great day.